What's going on, guys? Boy Joey 672 coming to you guys a video right now. So I want to go over training camp again today. Going to keep this rolling, okay? Not much happened too much today. We had some veterans that were definitely out today. So Jason Peters did not practice today, so they give Andre Dillard all the reps at the left tackle position. That's been doing fantastic. Jason Kelsey wasn't here at all today either. No injury. I think he just had another rest day as well today. Nate Herbig, the undrafted guard from Stanford, filled in and actually played center for the first time. So I know Nate Herbig is a guard, and this was another draftable guard that we could have had, just like Ryan Bates, that's from Penn State. Now Nate Herbig, another guy, another name you have to watch out for because he's competing for spots as well. Eagles want to try to cross-train him from guard to right guard to center. So the Eagles had him at center today, and probably a rough start. Never played center even in his college career at all, but you know how it is on this offensive line. The more positions you could play, the more chance you're going to have. The more chance you're going to have to make this team, and then the better chance you're going to have to win. This team is going to be more successful when you have players that cross-train that can play multiple positions, okay? You have Matt Pryor at guard. You have plenty of guys. Stefan Wisniewski is back. So the guard position's pretty deep when it comes to a lot of, multi-dimensional players that could do multiple things and play multiple positions on this offensive line. So very happy with that. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside had some really good comments to say about Carson Wentz. And before he came to the Eagles, before all this even happened to where he was drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, pretty much said that Carson Wentz was the quarterback that he was watching in the NFL. Thinks he's the best quarterback with the best team around him, and to be drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles was a blessing in disguise, and he can't wait to really help out this team this year, okay? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside has started. The Eagles have put him in red zone today, which I knew that was going to happen because I know during the season he might not be a full-time starter this year, but I'm telling you right now, for his height, his athleticism, and how lengthy he is, he will be used in the red zone. You could put Ertz out there. You could put J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Alshon Jeffrey, and then have Jordan Howard in the backfield. God forbid, you need to run the ball up the middle. You have all these big guys that are over 6'3". You have, and if you find, a linebacker or you find a corner that's undersized, that's not going to be able to keep up with some of these receivers we do have or tight ends, you're going to have some mismatches in the red zone. You could line up Jordan Howard in the backfield as well because Jordan Howard was the best red zone running back last year in 2018. And J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, it's unfair. It's literally unfair for him to even be on the field. And you put him in the slot if you want. Keep Ertz on the outside. You could do multiple. It depends what defense we're facing, and it depends the personnel. What's a good matchup in front of you? Who can really make the play. So that's where it's going to count the most. Well, Rasul Douglas is still making plays on this defense. Nate Sudfeld threw a pass today. Rasul Douglas tipped it, and Trey Sullivan, the safety, caught it for an interception. And Rasul Douglas is he keeps getting his hands on the ball. The guy is just always in the play. It doesn't matter where it is. He could be down making a tackle, running up to make a tackle. He's deflecting passes, and he's making plays on Deshaun Jackson. He's making plays on Alshon Jeffrey. He's made plays on Nelson Aguilar. He's made plays on a lot of receivers. And I'm telling you right now, to have Deshaun Jackson in this offense, you know how much better our defense is going to be? It's going to be crazy because let me tell you, you go up against Deshaun Jackson. Nobody is as fast as Deshaun Jackson because he has that elite speed, okay? And you're facing a pretty good first-team wide receiver core, okay? And you know what? Whether it's Nate Sudfeld throwing the ball or Carson Wentz, you're still going to get looks with those two guys regardless, okay? Maybe a little bit of Cody Kessler, but other than that, that's really it. Rasul Douglas has been a beast. Honestly, this guy wants to start so badly. He wants to be with his first team so badly. Taking advantage of Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby and Craven LeBlanc not being here opens a lot for some of these guys. This is why we signed Orlando Scandrick, that started with the second team. This is why we signed Alex Brown off, won a waiver claim from the 49ers, another guy that can come in. But, Alex Brown's probably not a guy that's going to make this roster unless we have like 2 or 3 guys injured on this team before the season starts. Then I can see Alex Brown John coming to this team and doing right. There's just so many spots open right now. I know some of these guys, these corners, like Ronald Darby will be back by week 1. Jalen Mills will be back by week 1. These guys will be back. The thing is, I'm just happy that we have Rasul Douglas that's healthy. You have Avonte Maddox that's healthy. You have so many guys that can jump in there and do their thing. And Sidney Jones has had a very excellent camp. But Rasul Douglas, I think, has had an even better camp than Sidney Jones right now. I'm not knocking off Sidney Jones at all. I just think Rasul Douglas is... it's his third year now. His third year. So, Rasul Douglas, this is a big year for Rasul Douglas because he needs to show what he can do. We all know what he can do. He can go up and make tackles. He can get his hands on the ball. Now, when it's open field behind him and he's got to cover a guy that's a little bit faster than him, I just don't know at this point. He doesn't have that, that backwards drop corner speed, because he's very lengthy. He's a big corner. But, the guy fights, and this defensive line pressure should help that, regardless. So very happy with Rasul Douglas. Very happy with all these corners that have been playing and really working their ass off. So very happy with Avonte Maddox, Rasul Douglas, and Sidney Jones and all these guys. So more props to them. Carson Wentz throws a touchdown to Alshon Jeffrey right in the front edge corner of the end zone today. To really, you could do all this in camp. You could throw touchdowns to any of these guys in camp, honestly. And like I said, the defense is getting the work put in. The defense is putting work on. It's going to make both sides better. Offense is going to get better from this defense. Defense is going to get better from this offense, regardless. But the main thing that Carson has to do in 2019 is to distribute the football. Because, unfortunately, it was the Zach Ertz show last year. No wonder Zach Ertz led the league in receptions. No wonder, Zach Ertz is the highest reception tight end in football history, okay? And, breaking a record like that is awesome. But, when Nick Foles came in after Carson Wentz was he had the brace on. He wasn't fully ready to come back. And, unfortunately, just played like shit, okay? But when you have... like a Nick Foles type of guy that goes in there and, has to distribute the ball. You got to distribute the ball between all these receivers because there is so much talent around Carson Wentz. This is probably going to be the best roster Carson Wentz has ever had around him. Probably the best roster I've ever seen, really. It's endless with the receivers. It's endless with the running backs. It's endless at offensive line. You got depth so deep. You're so deep. It's you can't. That's why I'm not even worried about an injury in this offense. I'm not even worried too much about it because you have a lot of guys. Now, I understand if Lane Johnson's gone, it's a hit. Jason Peters is gone. Maybe it's a hit, but maybe if Jason Peters was gone, I wouldn't really care if Andre Dillard went in there. Lane Johnson talked about today that in his interview today, his press conference after practice, he pretty much said if Jason Peters was out, he knows Andre Dillard can go in and make plays. Thinks that his comparison to going, his transition from college to the NFL is going to be absolutely amazing. And I think, being thrown in the fire isn't a bad thing at all. Okay, that's the only way you're going to learn. That's the only way you're going to learn from your mistakes. You take Halapuli Vaitai, in 2016, he got thrown into the fire in 2016. Okay, and he played bad. He gave up like 5 sacks. He played so bad. But after that game and how much criticism he got, he played well the next game. Okay, that was the year Lane Johnson was out with the PEDs and all that, and then Halapuli Vaitai had to come in. Sometimes you gotta get thrown to the fire. It happens. And look, Big V starts at left tackle in 2017 after Jason Peters goes down after Week 5 against the Redskins, and look what he does. He might have had one. He gave up a sack against Carolina, and then after that, he was fine the rest of the year. There was no problem. I had no problem with Halapuli. I almost forgot he was at left tackle because he was been playing so good all year. So sometimes getting thrown to the fire is not a bad thing. It's the same as you're not used to doing something at your job. You know what? You just go do it and go through it, and that's the only way you're going to learn and get better at it. Okay, this is how life works. You know what I mean? Andre Dillard is not going to get better by just sitting on the sideline. Now I understand that he's going to be behind Jason Peters for the left tackle. I understand that, but I'm telling you right now, Jason Peters is not going to play a full game every game. There's going to be times where Jason Peters is going to be dehydrated. There's going to be Jason Peters is going to want to break. put Andre Dillard in near the end of the game. You know what I mean? Just to save his energy. But, even towards the end of last year, Jason Peters was in every damn play. Beginning of the year wasn't that good. Everything wasn't clicking. Nothing was clicking beginning of the year. The first quarter of the year, nothing was. Defense, special teams, offense. I mean, you name every position, nothing was clicking. Just nothing, okay? But you know what? There's a lot of depth. Carson Wentz just has everything around him. This defense, this pass rush is the deepest I've seen, even deeper than 2017. And it looks even more dangerous. It's just crazy. I wouldn't even mind if the Eagles made another trade just to bolster that defensive line a little bit more. But I want to see what Sharif Miller can do. I want to see what Josh Sweat can do. And Lane Johnson talked about Josh Sweat as well. Said a lot of good things about Josh Sweat. And you know what? This is going to be a really good year for a lot of players that are trying to, get their name out there as, this is who I am and this is how I play, and you better watch out for me this year. This is where it's going to be really important. And I want another defensive end on this defensive line to produce. That's what I want. I want Sharif Miller to produce. I'm looking for Josh Sweat to produce more than anybody on that defensive line. Okay, I know other than Derek Barnett, because I know Derek Barnett was having a great season last year until, I think it was the Colts game. I forgot what game it was where, had the shoulder injury, whatever it was. But hey, we had a lot of injuries on the defensive line last year, so we need as much production from these young guys as much as we need, or we know we're going to have production from Fletcher Cox and Malik Jackson, Timmy Jernigan. Hassan Ridgeway's another guy I want to see pop up in this. Bruce Hector, Trayvon Hester. You don't have Chris Long anymore, so you got Brandon Graham on that big contract now that's looking to get double-digit sacks. You're looking for, Derek Barnett to, finally come into his groove as a, that's why we draft him as a first-round pick. That's why he made the plays last year as a first-round pick last year. You're looking for Sharif Miller to make plays, Josh Sweat to make plays, guys to be stepping up and do their thing, because we need as many young guys to step up this year, because next year's draft in 2020 is going to be very important. You just paid Carson Wentz. You don't know what you're going to lose. You don't know what you're going to keep next year. I honestly have it's a huge question mark. I'm not really worried about next year right now. I just want to get through 2019, get to the damn Super Bowl, and let's go win this fucking shit, get our second ring. That's all I give a shit about this year. That's all I care. That's all I care about. So other than that, guys, that's really it. Not a whole bunch of stuff today, but if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm covering every damn training camp, you name it, I'm covering it. And that's really it. So I'll see you guys later. Shake Squad up, fly, I'll fly.